Hello and welcome to Quest Complete. Today's topic is. Oh fuck, what was today's topic, Ben?
Respect or no respect?
Oh,
That
right.
is the question.
Yeah. Whether a video game respects your time or whether it does not respect your time. I like that.
Yes, which is vaguely defined right now, but I'm assuming it'll get less. Anyway, it'll get clear as the episode goes on. Go ahead.
Exactly. I'm your host, Deluge. That's my partner, Benny.
Yes. Show partner, by the way. I want to make sure that's totally clear. I'm not just gonna use the word blanket partner because that's that. I do. Moving on.
Moving on. So today we're going to talk about some games that we feel like respect our time and some games that we feel like don't respect our time. And that's not necessarily like a good thing or it's a bad thing. Because sometimes you want to put a whole bunch of hours into a game, and sometimes you want to just get in and get out real quick. So I mean, shit. What started this for me is like some games I end up like going hardcore at for like hours and hours, and I don't feel like I get anywhere. But then there are other games where I go at it for like good, 5-6 minutes. I'm just like, bam, bam, bam. I'm making progress. I'm going places. Like,
Yeah.
for me, probably the number one is probably Soul Sacrifice Delta. Like, there are requirements, but the game doesn't. I mean, anyway. So every quest, it'll tell you like what you're fighting. It'll tell you what it'll give you as a reward. The only thing it doesn't do very well is tell you which factions get which rewards. But the quests are like 5-6 minutes most, so you just like change your faction over and you run it again, and boom, bop, boom, you get what you want.
It's basically like when you have a high level set in Monster and you run a monster real fast.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like going after like, oh man, I need a Rathalos plate. And you go and you swap like a low rank Rathalos real quick, get a plate, boom, you're done.
Super easy chill farming.
Hell yeah. Or shit, do it with a high rank Rathalos. If you got like an end game set, probably be the same amount of time.
That's a whole other thing because of like the drop rates and how weird they are from high rank to low rank. But yeah.
Do you have any good examples of a game that respects your time, Benny?
Okay, I can only speak in broad topics.
Oh, so go for it. No, generalize.
I think we can clearly define what is a bad disrespectful game. Because there could be a good disrespectful.
Oh yeah.
Where it demands your time.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think it's what you said, where it's like if it takes a ton of time, and you feel like you've actually not done anything. So like, say, I fought 6 Rathaloses. I needed a plate. I didn't get one, and that's all the farming I could do today. I didn't make any progress. That kind of sucks.
It does. It's like 15 minutes of Rathalos, and you're just like, what am I doing with my life?
Now, this does not make the gameplay objectively bad. It just makes it an unpleasant experience.
True.
First, because I don't want to be mean on that.
No. That's not what this is about. Like, so maybe it'll take you like a week and a half to find a plate, but eventually you get the plate and you're moving on to bigger and better things.
Also dopamine.
Sweet
dopamine.
Oh god, yes. Still waiting for that gore plate to drop. Then I realized I need another gore plate.
30 Zenogres before I got that Jasper. God damn it.
I remember that. I walked away with a Jasper just about every quest too.
Zenogre a day for almost a month, basically. And then the next day I get 4. Thank you, GU, for being one of the worst and best games I've ever played.
Amen, my brother.
I guess a good disrespectful would probably be something like Death Stranding because, you could save and you could just quit, right?
Right.
But like, it does ask for you to be patient and like do things carefully and prep and don't just walk in, So
Exactly.
you do have to spend the time, even if it's split up between your sessions and stuff like that. It still wants you to do each thing. So.
No, that's super true. Like, you could just hop a rest and then pick up the delivery whenever you want, but like you still have to manage your stamina bar. You still have to know like a good route, especially if it's a time delivery. You're just like you don't want to quit out in the middle of that. You want to go point A to point B, but a lot of times Death Stranding, that's not something that's not an option that's available. You will have to like turn and go a different direction. You can't just do like a freaking beeline. So a lot of times that boils down to a lot of like basically just good route management, and like you could also set up structures to help you get over obstacles a lot faster. So it plays into this whole like you've already created an environment, so you spend a lot of time like setting up like stuff just to make good routes for yourself. So it also like, but the delivery still is like it's a you have to do. That's the time you put in.
Yeah, it's definitely. I do think it's actually really good in that way because like there have been days where I've played freaking Death Stranding for like over an hour and didn't finish a delivery because I was just doing the thing. Like I was just going across the area, and then I was like, you know what, I don't want to play this anymore, and that's okay. And I moved on. It's fine. It's fine. The game also fragile deliveries. They take so much more prep and like knowing what you need that it really takes like a minute. Like I swear I'm in that sortie for like at least 15 minutes. Because it's like if there's a BT encounter, can I take care of that? Like some things you have to carry by hand. Well, oh god, like it's then you have to like okay, well what skeleton do I use? I guess I shouldn't use power since I'm holding it by hand. So I guess I use speed, but I have to be careful to not sprint through things that make it like freaking make me slip up and like eat shit, right? And then break the thing. So it's like it definitely wants you to think about that ahead of time and take the time to do it. So yeah. So you would say that's what we define as a good disrespectful game?
I would say so. It's like even when you're just chilling out in the room, like every action you do in the room takes a decent amount of time, but there's purpose to all of them. So yeah, it's a game that demands a lot of time, but you get back what you put in. Definitely.
Yeah, and I will say, it's technically, it's a inbuilt difficulty slider, because it's like, actually, if you do none of that prep, it just makes the game really hard. You don't have to do it. But doing all that prep makes everything feel so good and streamlined.
Right, no, there's nothing better. There's nothing more satisfying than like having a good route for delivery, everything goes smoothly, get there on time, it's in good condition, you get a whole bunch of likes.
Basically, when it's good, it's because it makes you feel like you actually did some shit and some good shit.
Oh yeah.
That's like you did it, you did it well, you got S's. All S's, baby. Full star.
I can dig it.
So then that's the question. We kind of went with disrespect first, so... Oh wait, no, you went with respect first, and then I went with disrespect first.
I mean, yeah, well, let's head back over to the good respect. I feel like we didn't touch on that, like, quite enough.
Okay.
I feel like Rise is another really good one. Monster Hunter Rise. Because the hunts are, like, pretty quick. Like, as far as any other Monster Hunter game, they're pretty quick.
We're ignoring Switch Sleep, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just make sure.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, that's another good thing is that, like, again, that's probably what plays into it being, like, good time respect game, English, is that you can just, like, well, since it's on the Switch, you just put it in the rest mode whenever. Pick it up whenever. Like, me personally, I use the Switch as, like, an actual console, so I don't ever factor in the whole, you just put in
it still has a super convenient sleep mode. Like, it still works.
But I have that on PS4, PS5 as well.
It's not as it's with how fast the Switch loads. It's like it just isn't as convenient because the whole thing's got to boot up on PS5 and all that jazz. The Switch, I hit the button and I can play the game again.
Boom.
Like it really is like an actual handheld sleep mode like they used to be. Like on 3DS.
You flip the lid on the 3DS.
You just open it and boom, you're in the game again.
Bam shakalaka.
That's so cool. But yeah, I mean, yeah, and then definitely how they did the armor system as well, basically making it pretty easy to collect your things decently quickly. Like I would say making a full high rank mixed set probably takes about 2 days. So like kind of figuring it out and then farming. So like let's say average 2-hour play session, so like it would take about 4 hours ish.
Yeah, just about like, and if you get some good talisman RNG, like, I mean, you just use the one that's got either like a skill you want on it or one that's got some decent slots that you have to put in some of the hours and get like a decent talisman. But like, even then, like the skill set system stands on its own. You don't necessarily need the god talisman, but you just kind of need like one that's it's all right. I can use this. I like it.
But you just need to. I mean, it's completely different, but you just need to collect a bunch of talismans so that way when you're like, oh shit, I want to make a build with that skill, I'll go see what talismans I have, and then you might have like 4 like that really well set up skill.
Yeah. No, that's just like that's a mindfulness thing. That goes like way back for me too, because I remember like going on talisman grind and being like, nah, I don't want that one. That one seems dumb.
To be
And
fair,
like,
though-
oh, I might use this later. I'll keep that one.
To be fair though, I did get the god talisman. It did happen,
Oh, did you? What? Wait, what was it?
but a personal god talisman.
Oh,
I got
Yeah.
Agitator 3 with guard level 1 and a 2 slot.
oh my
It's
god.
so good! Agitator 4, bitch! On a single talisman.
Yeah, it's still a god talisman. Like, holy
And
shit.
it feeds into my weapon types. I can use that on a charge blade build, and I can use it on a lance build. I can use it on a lance build. I can use it on whatever.
What kind
It's
of
amazing.
black magic did you pull off in order to get that talisman?
Well, you know,
Like,
you know what the
what'd
funny
you
thing is?
sacrifice?
You know what the funny thing is? I don't even remember getting it. It was just there. It was just there one day. I think it's because sometimes when I'm accepting talismans, I'm talking to you and Revan, and
Oh,
like
yeah.
I just space, and I'm just going, yeah, need that, yeah, okay, cool. So, yeah, I would say talisman grind's completely disrespectful of time.
Oh
I
no,
hate that
and
kind of art.
that's always been something with Monster Hunter that like you have to bend over backwards, you have to pray to RNGesus, you have to pet the Poogie, you have to cut off your left leg and your right arm, and it's just like they ain't got nothing.
So we are gonna probably talk about armor skills and stuff like that eventually, but I want to make one point before we shift away because I definitely want to make its own thing for
Yeah,
like
go for it.
monster armoring systems. But the one thing I would like to say is I think the reason people dislike the deco system, the deco RNG system less, is because a single deco is less important than a talisman that has like a decent amount of points in a skill and slots. Like
I
a
can see
talisman
that.
is a whole other piece of armor.
No, it is. It is. That's why there's its own special slot. Like it also has slots for gems.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. They definitely tailored it to be perfect. I mean, it's probably why it and Soul Sacrifice are your 2 picks for like respect because they're handheld games.
Yeah, no, like I'm not even like a handheld gamer, but like yeah, those 2 games just do something for me. Like the combat's good, the monsters are good. Just the game itself
Dude.
is just really fun.
The game's good. The game's good. That's it. Just end, like I mean, we can end it right there. There you go. I said the thing.
All right, we'll see you guys all next week. Next episode of Quest Complete. Thanks for stopping by.
I guess we could mention. I don't know if I want to. Okay, I'm gonna bully Dark Souls 1.
Oh, do it.
Yeah, Dark Souls 1's trekking and like bonfire stuff is just. It's so nifty to have a completely interconnected world, but like it's just so tedious and disrespectful of like your time to just. Oh crap! I didn't hit that bonfire. Now I have to take a 15-minute run all the way back up to the top. No. I have literally stopped Dark Souls 1 runs because of that. Just no. Just no.
Just know.
I have it. Well, okay. How can we play devil's advocate to that?
Well, the fact that all right. So before the whole checkpoint system, like with bonfires, you remember games where you have to go all the way back to the beginning of the level, like
Mhm.
the mission, like you have to reload everything. You don't have any of your progress.
But it really is different, though.
It's the same thing.
A similar concept, because you punish, you're going back to where you last
Right, right.
saved.
But the only thing you lose is like you still have all your gear and equipment that you picked up, like all the random items and shit. Like the only thing you lose are your currency, XP, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
But
and
like,
then
what
you
if you were... Go ahead.
well that and like you're at that particular checkpoint, you don't have to like, restart the whole game from freaking Firelink Shrine or whatever, and then wander all the way back over to that bonfire you got to.
Oh my god. That would be so bad. Oh no.
That would be horrible, wouldn't it?
Oh, no. Mm.
I feel like that's a really good like middle ground, like because in Demon Souls you have like just one checkpoint at the beginning of an area, and then you can go through like an entire freaking area. It's just like, how do I want to go home, and you gotta wander all the way back to the Archstone. But with like And I'm not. This isn't something that's particularly prevalent in Dark Souls 1, but like a lot of times, as you'll get to a new area, you'll wander through it for a little bit, and you're like, "Oh, thank God, a bonfire!" You can just sit there, chill out. Like you can even like level up or fix your equipment. I don't know, throw things in a box.
Neat.
There's a lot of convenience that comes with that. So I feel like what justifies that level of convenience, in particularly, I guess, in the mind of Miyazaki at that point in his life, was that, oh, well, you see, the thing is, if you eat shit down here, you have to wander all the way back down there from that bonfire.
You know what makes me laugh about that though?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh man, I loved that. Why doesn't Miyazaki do it anymore?" Probably because he realized how not fun it was. They just didn't do it again.
Well, yeah, no, seriously, like, I mean, we've talked about this before, but, like, he's been refining that particular formula for years. Like,
Oh yeah.
apparently even way before Demon Soul. He was trying that kind of stuff out in the King's Field franchise, which came out God knows how long ago.
He didn't work on Kingsfield?
He did, actually.
No, he started with Armored Core.
Well,
I
From
thought-
Software was working. That's something I
From
read on the
Software.
Demon Souls wiki, and that's the OG Demon Souls wiki, not the freaking whatever, the Extra Life one.
Let me look this up real quick.
Oh, go for it. Yeah, if Miyazaki didn't work on King's Field, then I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Quick interview.
It sounds like he just refers to it as the company made it.
That's fair. So that, well, be fair, then if the company made it, then a lot of those people who are developing that probably also worked on Demon Souls at this time. That's probably where he started getting a lot of the ideas from that, or for that particular game from, or at least incorporating aspects of it. There's very big similarities between King's and especially early builds of Demon Souls.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly do want to make like a side tangent at some point where it's like, where a little thing that we're on talk about how Demon Souls actually had the best world design of all the Souls games that's come out so far. It has non-linear, linear world. It's like, it's amazing. Like I'm sorry, it's wonderful. Just having different places to go to, and you can do it in a non-linear fashion, but it's all linear, so that means it's really well tailored and structured. It's just, oh, it's amazing. Anyway,
They did something
Yeah.
very similar with Dark Souls 2, where you have multiple paths you can go to.
it's basically just Dark Souls 1 with teleporting,
Well, no,
which honestly
because
would make that
certain
game
paths
much
will
more-
dead end, whereas in Dark Souls 1, that path will loop back around. You'll be like, what the fuck? How did I get back here?
Really?
Yeah. In Dark Souls 2, like, you'll go one way and you'll be like, oh, that's as far as I can go. Okay, back
There's
to
a-
the base.
There's a dead end in DS1.
Is there?
There's a couple dead ends. Seath's a dead end. Well, I guess it's all the lords.
I guess that actually makes sense, yeah. The Gwyn's a dead
Also,
end.
the dragon, the Everlasting Dragon Covenant. That's a dead end.
It is. It is,
There's a
but
couple.
you gotta go through Blight Town and also the Great Hollow to get there, though. And I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure both those places loop back around.
And it's sorry, I hate going through those areas. It's just like it really does. Like there's so much effort to go into making a build in that game, and then it just like there's no guarantee that your build will be like strong immediately. So the game will also just be extra hard at some point. So just yay. So my work will not get paid off immediately.
I feel like that's a whole nother animal.
But it is still a thing, because we did talk about how respect is like feeling like your time is worth it. But like, if it's like a super, super delayed reaction, it could really be annoying in the moment.
Well, that's Dex in general in every Souls game. Like, Dex builds start off super slow.
I didn't even say Dex,
It
and that's how
gets-
funny that is.
Yeah, no, seriously. Well, it's a lot better in Dark Souls 3, where at least that's the first infusion you get, is the Sharp Infusion, so you can at least, make your weapon scale
Starting off
decently.
early.
But, no, in, like, I remember my first character in Demon Souls was a Dex character, and I was just like, that run was hell. Until I finally got, like, a decent weapon and use and upgraded a decent amount. That was probably one of the hardest runs I've ever done.
Mm.
But, like, my strength build, I was just like, Uncle Bug, I was like 5 or 6 bosses in before things started to be like, oh, perhaps I need to grind a little bit now.
It is kind of a fun feeling, though.
Yeah.
Especially if you can find a fun spot to grind in where it's not so mind-numbing.
Right, but that ties back into Dark Souls 1. It really depends, like, how you approach the game. Depends on how much it's going to respect your time.
Oh yeah, I've had playthroughs where I didn't grind at all, and then I've had playthroughs where I grinded for most of my time.
So, I mean, it's a very interesting middle ground of a game. Like, you have these checkpoints, but you also need to have, like, a route, and it's also dependent on your build, whether or not, like, it's going to respect your time. And it's also dependent on you. Because, I mean, the biggest thing about, like, setbacks and resets are, like, just human error.
Yeah, well, that's like the natural difficulty thing.
There's also true.
Where it's like you are the reason the game is harder or easier.
I mean, again, yeah, you could say that about Monster Hunter. You could say that about Death Stranding too.
Mm-hmm. It's a. I love that shit.
Right.
But I think of another positive one.
I mean, I brought up the like, I didn't say this, but my example for the having to reload the level stuff was DMC1. Like, that does get on my nerves sometimes, but it's also another game that's pretty good about respecting your time, in the sense that the missions are actually pretty short. Like, there's a few bullshit bosses, but for the most part, the missions are pretty short and self-contained. You don't find yourself doing like a whole bunch of jigga-make joggity to get back to where you was. Especially if you have to like restart. I mean, losing upgrades sucks, but it's just like you play through the level again, you can get those upgrades back.
A kind of decent segue into Hades. You know, I'm just gonna bring that game up.
Oh, go for it.
I will. I'm actually. This is a complicated one for me
Oh,
because it's like
please, unwrap it.
this game is so weird because it has the most respectful way of being. Because it's like, oh, I died. Okay, cool. I could just stop now, right? But it's also like, I could just do one more. I can just
Yeah, no,
Is it
it's
one more?
very strange.
Is it
It's
one more?
like the only roguelike game I played that doesn't make you feel like shit for dying.
It makes you want to disrespect your own time. Like it makes you feel like you should just keep playing. Like just one more, it's fine. Make a little bit more of that like money lets me like upgrade my house or something like that. You know.
No, seriously.
It is. Yes.
Hang out at the bar, talk to the ghosties, see how
I guess
they're
just
doing.
roguelikes in general are like that, huh? Just one more run.
Nah, I wouldn't say like OG Risk of Rain was very much like you have failed. Oh, I gotta go back to the beginning. This sucks. I don't have any of my
These are pretty
upgrades.
snappy.
Yeah, but that's what I liked
that.
about it. Like, it had such good boss design and music was so good. It's just like, I feel like shit, but I want to keep going.
Speaking of which, maybe we should do that on like New Year's, whatever we do for the New Year's stream. But yeah, we just play that game again in general. Game's fun. Game is really fun.
Yeah, Risk of Rain 2 is super good. I'm really glad they added the co-op. I just hope they add more characters because they're missing quite a few from the original roster.
Well, I mean, the character lineup is already very strong, and the game isn't like super old. I think it's only like 2 years old. So
That is fair.
there's definitely support that could come its way.
Oh no, absolutely. I was surprised the devs even like made the second one. I was very surprised. But I guess the first one did really well and was really well received.
That's good, especially when new projects are tried. It's also really interesting seeing a sequel dive that far away from the source, like the actual first game, being like, oh, it's a 2D action game. Oh, nope, never mind. Now it's third-person action. What?
Well, it's the same formula. It's just, they add an extra dimension. Like, to be honest
Yeah,
with you,
but,
it doesn't feel that much different, like, gameplay-wise, but in terms of that third dimension, like, you very much feel like, yeah, this is a definitely third-person shooter.
Well, like you're saying that, but it's like, I mean, like, that's kind of like saying, oh yeah, like Mario 64, all they did was add a dimension. It's like, they had to figure out a lot of stuff there, too. Like it wasn't just that simple.
Oh, no, like, I'm not, like, trying to talk bad about them or anything. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, going from Risk of Rain 1 to Risk of Rain 2 is, like, they feel very similar. And I like that. It doesn't feel like they've lost
you're
something because of that
complimenting that
extra
it kept the
dimension.
DNA. Yeah, okay. It's just really respectable that they actually tried something that different. because usually developers are kind of scared to do that either because of worrying about not being able to do it or fan rejection. So it's just really
it was very well received.
Mhm.
Surprisingly, very
And
well received.
I mean, I played that game for like 10 minutes and was like, well, this is like crack.
No, it
It's
really
just so easy
is.
to keep playing.
Right? And then you get into this groove and just like, fuck the upgrades. Let's just keep going before it gets to torrent mode.
Oh no,
Ah.
it's interesting that it's like there's games that like disrespect and like respect, but then there's games that like make you just want to forget about your time altogether. Like,
But that's not
kind
a
of an
bad
interesting
thing.
in
Like,
between.
just because a game doesn't respect your time, that doesn't mean that's a bad thing. That's time you wanted to put into it. You know, like, to be honest with you, the game. This is probably my best example of a game that doesn't respect your time, and I don't appreciate it. Probably Neo 2. So on top of it being like, you know, Souls-like, where you have to like get experience and level up, it's also got that crazy ass like hack and slash style gameplay of like having 4 different stances, and also like the burst counter system. But I'm not even getting into that. But on top of all of that, and crazy level design, on top of all of that, there's also Diablo style loot. So
Oh yeah.
for a specific build that needs specific equipment as well as a specific weapon or weapons, you have multiple equipped, it will take you at least 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks to farm up all the equipment you need. And that's if you're lucky.
Ugh.
And I'm just like, nah, I'm good, dog. That's honestly, that was another reason I quit playing, is because like I really loved Neo 1. Neo 1 was really fun. I didn't mind grinding in that game, even though it was Diablo. I was just like, just use whatever. But in Neo 2, the way they've refined gameplay and the system is like, you're not running like optimal gear, you're gonna get smashed. So a lot of times
I
you find
get
yourself
that.
needing to grind. I'm just like, I don't have this kind of time. Like, and if I can't keep going forwards and it's gonna just be crazy difficult, I'm like, done. I don't want it anymore.
That's one of the things about like late game gen that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, where it's like there's like a collection of sets where everyone kind of ends up making similar things, and it's not as varied as some of the other games we've played. And if you're not using sets like that, you're going to die way easier, and your hunts are going to take even longer. So I definitely understand that kind of like, even if I take the time to do something creative, if it's not optimal, it might not be worth it.
And that is something that is disappointing, especially, I feel like it's a big issue with just crit boosts in general. It's like, it becomes like the de
I haven't made a
facto.
smoke boost.
Oh, I've got several. It's just like, the difference is like night and day. Like what would be a 10-minute hunt becomes like a 5-minute hunt when optimal, like attacking the monster in the places you're supposed to attack it.
Well, leading into the whole time thing, for me, I want to enjoy my time. I don't want it to go faster. So I make builds that make the actual gameplay more fun. Like
No,
builds
that's-
that make get enraged guard last 10 years.
No, that's entirely
Mhm.
not a wrong or right way to go about it. Like, me
Sure, go
personally, it's just like, I'd like to get in, get out. That's how I like it. Now, if I do have the time to waste, I'll probably be playing something else where it's like, I could just do whatever I want. Doesn't matter.
I do kind of know what you mean. There's like a game where it's like I want to grind and work on stuff, but then there's a game where I just want to press buttons.
Exactly. And that's also another big thing. With a game that's like good with respecting your time and a game that's not so good about it. Like, it also depends on like, well, how much time do I actually have? You know? You only got like 5 minutes. Well, you're gonna play the game that respects your time. But if you got like a whole 8 or 9 hours that you ain't doing jack shit, well, you're gonna go over to Mr. Disrespectful, you know?
Mm-hmm. I have a very meta way of this next game. Stardew Valley. A game that literally has a time mechanic. Where you, like, if you don't fit it in one day, you, like, have to, like, remember to, like, fit it in the next day, and you have to manage all your stuff and stuff like that. But it is a little, I would put it a little bit in the good disrespectful category, because you shouldn't start a day if you know you can't finish it, unless you're playing on Switch. But we're not going to count Switch right now. We're going to count the game itself. So if you start a day, it only saves at the beginning of a day. Right?
Yes.
So you have to complete a day. Technically speaking, without taking into account switches.
Right.
Or pausing and leaving.
Or rest mode.
You have to complete a day. So, the reason I find that good disrespectful, where it's like, hey, no, you're gonna respect me and you're gonna take this time, is because it really asks you to like plan out your day and like see what you want to do and remember what you're trying to do and try to like be efficient with your time management, which is very fun. It's very fun to be like, I went here and I did this at this time because they opened early, and then I went and I did my fishing, and then I went and I did my mining, and then I went and made sure the animals were all taken care of. Usually I do that first. I don't know why I said that later. But like it's basically the Death Stranding thing again, where it's like prep. Like basically knowing what you're gonna do ahead of time and then executing it well is just I guess it's more like it's not a rhythm game. It's like a slow rhythm. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. That actually goes back to my years of playing Minecraft, where it's actually just something I found out recently. Is let's say you have like a bunch of emails, and you just like you start browsing through them to see which ones are most important. But like, if your inbox is like twice as full, that's gonna take you twice as long. So in reality, you're better off just like going through them either in order or just looking at them entirely randomly. And that's actually how I used to play Minecraft. Rather than finding out what I need to prioritize, I would just start doing things. So like, I'd start mining, I'd start chopping wood, or I'd go digging up for coal, or it's just like, I didn't exactly need that stuff, but like, oh man, I need to make a box. Well, good thing I have all this wood. It's like, oh shit, I'm out of torches. Good thing I got all that coal. So, in like, with sense of like, you don't need to do things in order of operations. You could skip steps, but as long as you're still like, being productive, not necessarily in like the chronological order of things, like you still get more bang for your buck when it comes to like, especially games that like require you to spend the time doing things.
Yeah, and it's a really fun way to play games. You're like, oh shit, it's the ADD way of playing a game, basically.
Essentially, yeah.
Being like tasks as they come, and like that's the thing. It just depends on the game, right? Because you can have prep games where it's like, I know what I'm going to do at this time, at this time, at this time, right? Or you can just go in with a vague checklist and then just do things as they happen. It totally works. Maybe not in Stardew as much. You do kind of need to think a little bit, you know?
Now all I do is fish.
I mean, that's what I do. I'm gonna be real. When I do co-op with Josh and Tori, that's literally it. I am Fishman.
Fish
you do other
man.
things?
Because I assume like Josh and Tori are just like, Tori, why aren't you watering the radishes? They've been watered like 3 weeks. Then Tori's all like, but I'm off at the shop. I bought a backpack. I'm just like, oh boy. I'm sure glad I'm fishing right now.
Dude, some of the stuff that we would go on was so funny. Like, we would literally just see the money get spent, and then me and Tori would be like, Josh, what did you buy? Because we would know who did it. Just be like, no, Tori did that. And like, Tori was like, and I was like, I was like, Josh, why did you lie to me? It's like, why would you trust Tori over me? Because you lied to me. That's fair. Basically, it's like just saying like little stuff like that. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, no, of course.
Still, but yeah, no, that's definitely one way to look at it. It really is interesting because you're not always going to be in the mood for a game that really wants you to work for it. Like, my brother is going through a lot of stuff with work right now, and he wants to get into BlazBlue with me.
Oh.
But he doesn't want to learn the execution, and BlazBlue requires... I mean, there's some characters where you don't have to learn a ton of execution, and I really like that, where there are some, like, woohoo, It's good. You should have characters like that, especially if people use those characters, to learn the mechanics first, ease their way in.
Yeah, well, there should be entry-level characters in any fighting game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, I mean, for people who kind of like know general fighting game stuff, it's easier for them to find a more complicated character first, Yeah. So, but like, I have thoroughly enjoyed just the search, like of like, who is my main, and just like spending the time learning the combos, realizing what a character probably isn't for me, and respecting that, and then moving on. Like, I guess that's like a personal choice of like respect or disrespect thing. But I guess a game. I can see that. I guess a game like that does demand it, though, doesn't it? Because otherwise you just won't get that high damage.
Well, to be honest with you, like, I'm on the complete other side of that. I'm just like, I want to know who I'm gonna play right now. I don't want to have to sift through all these other guys. So I just want to like know exactly what I'm getting into and just have a character ready to go. Like I don't want to have to shop around. I want to see what they can do. I want to see if that works for me, and then I want to just do that for a while until I get bored of it.
Oh yeah, the one problem with BlazBlue, it's like it really isn't the jump in and like press buttons and see what happens, because for like real matches, it just is the little like chains you need to do. It's like old Guilty Gear. It's like
I
with Xrd
gotcha.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like it really has that similar DNA. Xrd was better because it's pretty easy to just go 1, 2, 3, right? Like because of how the Gatlings worked in Xrd. But it's good though. It's like good demanding. It's like super rewarding to actually learn the little chains that each character has. And so I feel rewarded with spending that time. Zach does not feel rewarded because he struggles more. So he has to spend more time on it. So I guess one game that's respectful for you would be disrespectful to someone else.
No, exactly. And that, of course, this is going to vary from person to person, you know?
That's the thing, though, is a game like that... Okay, so this is a question that could go for most like video game topics, where people say something needs to be accessible, right?
Yeah.
Should, like, okay, obviously a game should be allowed to demand more from you. But do you think it's a bad thing to want a game to not demand that much from you?
No, and it shouldn't be.
But shouldn't you just go find a game that doesn't demand as much?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, I was about because I was like, that's the main point. It's like,
Well, hang on. The way you phrase that, are you talking like about a game specifically? Like, you know, like talking about like a game that demands a bunch of time, being like, I want this game to demand less time.
yeah, like I want to do cool stuff.
Well then, yeah,
with
no.
this, but I
Go
don't
find
wanna
another
learn.
game to play. Like, if this game, that's what I did with Neo 2. I realized like I really like it. I got pretty far in it, but I realized like I don't have the time to put into this, so I'm just gonna do something else.
To be fair, I get why people get mad. It's a pride thing and it's a sad thing because it's like you tried a game, it didn't work out, and you're probably not going to play it anymore.
No,
And
and the
you
worst
might
part
have
is, it's
spent
like
money
you liked it, you know, you liked what it was, but you just come to the terms of like this just isn't for me, you know.
Yeah, and it's definitely one of those things. Is like, can I finish this game in a reasonable time that will make me happy? Because if you can't, you don't have enough time. You might want to not play the game right now. Like I played like the first thing of Kena and I haven't even gotten into it yet because it's like it's got a little bit more that I want to do, and I want to like actually put some like hours into it. I want to put like a 3-hour session into it whenever I actually have 3 hours. So, yeah.
Oh, and that's a good mindset to have, especially if a game's really easy to pick up and just put down. Like,
Yeah,
really,
but like there's like some cool story stuff that I want to
no, that's true.
be in.
Well, that's also another thing. Is that, like, if a game's got a really good story and you're really invested in it, I'd say just keep along that because you want to know where you are at.
Oh yeah. Like I told you that Ghost actually made it be like one of those shows where it's like I gotta see what happens next. That's literally what happened to me. Where it was like, okay, be vague with this podcast. Don't say spoilers. What I'll say is,
Spoiler
that
alert!
it's just
Look
like-
out!
like I got to the final boss, right?
Yep.
And I was literally just like, okay, screw you, get out of my way. I want to see the conclusion with like the characters, right? I'm like, I don't care. Like, get out of my way, move along. I don't give a shit. Go get out of my face. Like, it's like I just want to see these characters have their conclusions and like the wrappings to their stories. That's what I want to see. So,
No, that's a very good way to look at it. Like, I'm sure some people, other people will be all like, hell yeah, boss fight, let's go! And then it's like, what the fuck is this shit? You know?
Ghost was not the challenge game for me. Sekiro was the challenge game.
Oh,
Ghost
absolutely.
was like,
Well, there have been parts in Ghost that are, like, I thought were hard, you know? And then, like, I don't know. Because it just took me a few extra tries. I'm like, I did it. That wasn't so bad.
Yeah. I like how it feels. It's like the combat just serves what's around it, and it really does just feel like fun and simple Sekiro meets Dark Souls meets Neo, and it's good. It's really good.
No,
Good combat.
It is. It's got that secret
It's not
sauce
cheaper than
where
it
it's
needs
like,
to be.
it's not like hard for the sake of being hard, but it's not like no brain easy either.
Oh, the skills make you feel like a god.
That is true. Yeah, no, and having all those cookies and be all like, how will I spend
The
my
cookies.
cookies today? Will I legendary strike or will I dance of Hachi?
Goddamn bug, he's taking out my cookies.
God damn, it's just like you got 5 or 6 guys roll up on you and you jump off your horse and it won't stop beating your ass. You're like, oh my cookies, no! But it's a story for another time.
It is a thing of like just not having enough time and not realizing it. But it's like it's also sad because I'm dealing with the weirder thing of like I'm the guy who wants to spend all this time on fighting games and stuff that's similar, but I don't have anyone else that wants to. Same. So I end up getting better than the people who are playing at a casual level faster, and then they get upset because they don't win as much, and it's a difficult position. Difficult position.
No, and it does suck. Like, honestly, I feel like you probably just need a fighting game, homie. Perfectly honest with you. But like,
Yeah.
well, but on the other side of that, it's just like a lot of the stuff I'm into is just it's single player only. It's just like,
Yeah, so that's you.
but I want
that's
to
you
hang
and
out with my friends. But I'm gonna do this all alone.
It's difficult. It really is.
Yeah.
Where it was like sometimes there's just like a hibernation thing where it's like, hey guys, about this game, I'm gonna be gone. Like I'm gonna be like we're not gone, but like
Yeah.
I'm gonna be distant for like a week. It has nothing to do with anybody. I got a game that I'm excited about, and I'm gonna play it.
No, that's totally fair. It's just all like, you know, you gotta tell people that you're gonna fucking be ghost mode. You don't just ghost mode out of nowhere. Then people get concerned.
Mm-hmm. But I do think it is 100% okay for a game to demand like effort and time from you.
No, and
It's
that's
totally okay.
that's absolutely true. And like, well, I'm sure on the other side of it, it's just like, well, if a game like demands a lot of effort and time, like, well, what are the people who don't have like the time put into that? You know,
Yeah,
like, what if they
where
got
they
the
get-
effort but they don't got the time? You know, what do
Yeah,
they
and
do? And it's just like, well, they act like it's the developer's responsibility to incorporate a solution for everybody. It's like, well, no. Sometimes there just is no solution, like, especially not one that will remedy a situation as complex as that. You're like, how do you?
I have a solution.
Oh, go for it.
I have a solution. Play a game that actually fits your needs better.
I was talking about in that game specifically, like,
Oh.
but no, that in reality, that is the solution. That is 110% the solution. But like, people act like it's on the developers to be like, you need to develop something just for me. I have very
thought you were
special. I have very
I thought you
special.
were going to develop, and I was like, yeah, that is their job.
Right?
Sorry.
Developers be developing, boy.
I need you to develop.
I need you
I mean-
to develop. But no, like, but you get these people that will look at something like, I mean, fuck, what is that? What do they call it? What do the cool kids call it nowadays? They call it the Dark Souls problem, you know? And it's just all like, should it have an easy mode? I'm just like, to be honest with you, if From Software doesn't want to include an easy mode, they shouldn't have to, you know?
I mean, it took me a whole goddamn month to beat Sekiro. That game is not really that long.
I still haven't beaten Sekiro.
You got lost, so that's just the thing.
That, and I also don't have the time. Like,
Yeah.
I
think that game
got
guarantees something
super freaking far. Like, I am really
Yeah.
far. It's like I'm basically at endgame. I feel like I just
You're
have a few more bosses to go before I'm at what's his
You got
face.
far enough that I would like recommend restarting because it might be too.
I actually have a second character that I'm playing through Sekiro.
Oh, okay. Well,
That
then,
I restarted for that exact solution.
I kind of want to make a video about that at some point about how that is the most realistic sword fighting ever portrayed in video games. Sorry, tangent.
That is a tangent. I do want to dive into that, but that's not where we're at today, is it?
It's a cool. But you have to admit it's right. Like that feeling of like the back and the forth without anybody actually getting hurt yet, because that's how sword fighting works. Like it's not I slash you until you die. No, if I get like a good slash or a good stabbo, you're
Game
dead.
over.
So we can get like that life and death until you get your health bar super fucking huge in the late game. But still,
Well, even
It,
so,
like-
if your posture breaks, you're still gonna get killed.
yeah, the tension is real with some of those enemies. Like some of like the early general boys, like when you're not very strong, they're so fun because of that. Like having to like do all that. Oh.
Yeah, no,
Sorry, anyway,
seriously, it's just like, before you have Mirakuri, you're just like, stay away, don't touch me.
I will say one thing. going back to the time thing, I mean, we basically just talk about time broadly now. This isn't just respect. This is just more about like time and like willingness for effort and time in a video game. But one of the things that bothers me the most about people, especially with fighting games, but like other things,
Is that they're people. God damn it.
I know, right? I'm peopleist. I can't believe it. But is that they think that they have to be like the people who spend 2 hours a day. You can spend 20 minutes a day. It'll just take longer, but you could totally do it.
Yeah, just chip away at the mountain.
Yeah, like I asked my bro to play Guilty Gear to like warm up and stuff like that. He's like, "Well, I don't need to," and then he does poorly and he gets upset. I'm like, "Dude, just like play for like 10 minutes and go to the training room and practice your favorite combos. That's it.
No, that's a
it.
really good way to go about it too.
You're just reinforcing what you already know. I'm not asking you to go to school, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
like just not telling you to relearn anything.
I mean,
just
well, shit, just
take
even
that,
like
take
5
that.
minutes just messing around, that'll get you in better shape for something than like, you know, me personally, I like trial by fire, where it's just like, I haven't played in a while. Let's do some online matches, see what happens.
To be fair, I have been enjoying that with DNF purely because no one knows what they're doing at the moment. So that's enjoyable because it feels like everyone's just kind of slapping things against them. Something will stick.
Well, I
Nothing
feel
gets
like that's the
stuck yet.
fun of, like, especially a fighting game when it's, like, brand new, because nobody's found the god combo.
Well, it's like, dude, no one could even go in the training area. Like, no one could practice. Like, not at all. It's
Get
like
out there and
everyone
have
had to try
fun,
out
you
the fire.
crazy kids.
And to be fair, I actually kind of enjoy it. It does feel like going up to an arcade cabinet. It's just the fact that it didn't work at all last night. You know? Like,
Right.
the
You
servers
put
were
in the
down all
quarter and
time.
just like, what the heck, man? I want to
No,
see the
literally just-
manager. I want to see the manager.
Oh, totally weird tangent.
Oh, four.
Probably
go
told
for
you
it.
this already. Freaking, there was an arcade near me that closed down like years ago, but it had like an original Soul Calibur cabinet.
Oh, hell.
And if I had an expendable income, I'd have that shit. That should be in my room.
No, seriously. Well, when the
Oh.
Wonderland next to me closed down, this was fucking years and years ago, I was like, could have had that Street Fighter 2 machine. So I was like,
Oh,
15.
dude.
but I ain't got no money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only place I know that has Street Fighter 2 machines all the way over at the coast, I'm like, I'm not driving 5 hours so I can play Street Fighter 2 for 2 minutes.
Yeah, no, just like buy like one of the versions that have good netcode and play that.
There are no versions with good netcode. Moving on.
Okay, buy it and then like play it through
Arcade.
third party thing that I don't condone, of course. Capcom. That is a-
www.fightcade.com.
Nope, nope.
Link in the description.
Legal obscurity.
Link in the description.
I
There's actually even a mod for it on Steam if you guys willing to dig around.
give up. I give up.
I don't see why we should have to put up with developers' poor netcode.
Oh no, I didn't say that. I'm just saying like we're putting this out in a video. Maybe let's not talk about Fightcade. I feel like that
Is Fightcade illegal all of a sudden?
It's not technically legal. It's like legally gray.
Alright, well then it's great. And if it does become illegal, you know, don't go clicking that link. Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah, so just do it at your discretion. We're not recommending, nor are we saying not to. We're in the middle, of course. Yeah.
But if you want to have the superior experience, get it.
Oh,
But
buy
check
Soul
your
Calibur
local
6.
laws first.
Also, buy Soul Calibur 6. It's an amazing fighting game.
Also, yes, buy Soul Calibur 6. They have 2B. They have 2B.
2B. You had it.
They have. I'm sorry, it's just I lost myself for a second there.
They also have Jerry of the River, but he's kind of okay.
He is just kind of okay.
He's just sword guy with some
Well,
spells.
and then Soul Calibur 6. If you don't like the entire roster, you can't find anybody you like. You could just make somebody. It could be anybody.
Oh my god, you're right. I mean, you can't change the playstyle. They had that once though.
Really?
In Soul Calibur 3, they just had movesets that were character. You couldn't even make character templates in that game.
Oh jeez.
That game was horribly imbalanced, by the way. Not good.
No, I can see.
It was
that.
stupid fun though. This just was trash. Otherwise, it was fun trash. It was like garbage food, you know? Where
Yeah.
it was like
well,
like super fun,
Yeah,
But,
no,
like,
well,
it
I hate
totally would
McDonald's,
not be good.
but I like eating McDonald's, so
It was like
what
a
are
good
you gonna
McDonald's
do?
burger.
You know?
But like Soul Calibur 2 is like a nice steak. Like a diner steak. Not like a fine dining restaurant, like a nice diner steak. Where it's like good food.
Yeah. You,
It's like, oh,
you feel like you personally grew up with that cow. You know it. You know that cow. That cow was. It went places. It played ball with
I
Jimmy.
I
back
did
in
grow
fucking
up
middle
with that
school.
cow.
Like, really?
Yeah, did I ever tell you the story how I got into fighting games in Soul Calibur?
Yes.
So do I just
I mean, if you want the podcast to know.
Oh, okay. So there was like demo discs for GameCube when it came out,
Those were
and
the
they had
days.
a couple of games on it. I have to sneeze. 1 second.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-da-da.
I returned.
Yeah, came back on the ass end of that sneeze.
You use that soundbite.
You know it.
But they had one for Soul Cal too. They only had 2 characters. They had Nightmare and Cassandra, and of course, I always played Nightmare because he was edgy man with big sword, and I related to him as a 7-year-old. So, but yeah, I borrowed the shit out of that from Grandma because she had that with her GameCube, and then I just brought it home and played it on my GameCube, right? For just like hours and hours and hours, exploring the moveset, having fun with it, not even really getting good at the game, just playing it. And then when I eventually got Soul Cal 2, it was like my world had exploded and like woken up, and I basically just became obsessed with that franchise. And then found Maximilian Dude through that franchise, and then that dude freaking showed me the rest of the fighting game world. Well, now I'm here.
So that
How do
being
I
said, like, how long does it take you like to pick up a game? Like, how many hours of play do you think it takes for you personally to be all like, I know exactly what?
Define game genre or just games?
Just in general. Like, what was the last game you picked up and it's just like, bam, I got it.
Okay. Oh. Without prior knowledge or anything.
No, just in general.
Okay. I guess Doom Eternal, because like it really is just Doom again, but like really solid. Does that count?
That counts. Yeah, no, because
Yeah.
I'd say something like with Demon Souls, it's just like I
That
played
learning
Demon
curve was
Souls.
hours.
I played a lot of no. Actually, no. Actually, it was about 2 or 3 days for me, where I was all like, okay, got it. I got this. I know what's up.
Well, do you know what the genius thing they did was in that game to like learn have a really healthy learning curve into the things. The new things were power-ups you gathered over time, and then that changed the combat over the start of the game. So in the beginning, you know exactly what you're doing, and the gameplay evolves as you keep playing.
I mean, that's pretty
Okay.
typical for a lot of games, though. Like,
Yeah, but like it was done really well.
I feel like they're all done really well.
Yeah, but some games are a little clunky. But
Right. But some games aren't Doom Eternal, or is that what it's called?
Yeah, Doom Eternal. Yeah.
Yeah, some games just aren't Doom Eternal. So it's not as good.
Oh, also, side thing.
Yeah.
Bring back more arcade shooters. God damn it.
Honestly,
We don't
yeah.
have to see it to
No,
Call
I
Duty.
remember spending hours playing that. Like, those were like some of the only co-op games, and outside of like the fighting games, those were some of the only co-op ones in the whole arcade. So it'd just be me and my brother being all like, "Which one do you want to do?" Is like, that one's got aliens, that one's got robots, that one's got hookers. Which one? What do
talking
you
like-
want to shoot up?
Talking on Rails. Oh my god, that last one.
Well, it's
I'm not
true.
talking like, I'm not talking like specifically on Rails. I mean like you're in an arena or you're in like have to like beat all the enemies, and you could like do it in creative ways or really simple. That's like what an arcade shooter is to me.
No, that's totally fair. Like, 'cause I feel like that particular genre doesn't get a lot of credit, or actually isn't actually a thing anymore, because arcades aren't a thing anymore, and everybody prefers to play like FPS or third person, where you like, you actually like move around and stuff.
You want to know something sick?
Well,
now?
I feel like that genre is still alive and well. It's just taken a different shape.
Oh no, it is alive and well. The indie scene, there's like a huge underground scene of like people who just make a bunch of like Doom-like games, and they're super cool and creative. Because the fidelity doesn't have to be super high. You just have to
Right.
make the gameplay really, really good. That's it. Which I like how I say that's like super. But yeah. But I would say going back to like the time thing.
Yeah.
What the most time? Actually, you answer what was your fastest game, like where you picked it up, almost like that, and then we'll do most, like longest pickup time.
Where I just like after a few hours, I was just like, boom, click, got it.
Yeah, around like the 1 to 2 hour mark of like I'm in.
That would be Neo. Like, I made some very good investments early on in the skill tree, and I was just dominating people in like PvP. Like, I was in like the first couple areas, and I was doing like PvP on the side to like farm up equipment. I was like dominating everybody. I was just like, what the hell? Because I went katana, and I just used katana. And katana's got like, it's basically the everything weapon. The only thing it doesn't excel at is it's close quarters, so you don't have a whole lot of range. But like, it's got good block, it's got good follow up. Like, medium stance could do just about anything. And it's just, I don't know what it was exactly, but like, it was something new. I was in the right state of mind. Like, I hadn't done any research. I was just like, it just clicked. It made sense. Like, as soon as I started getting the key pulses down and stuff, it was like, boom, got it.
Honestly, Neo's more of a rhythm game than Dark Souls.
No, it really is. Especially with like the key pulls and the stance switching, and then when you get to the point to where when you switch stances, you can also key pulls.
And you act like you couldn't handle like a mildly technical character in a fighting game. Just saying.
Yeah, still can. I feel like that's an entirely different skill set.
To be fair though, I think that is just like a time. You don't really have that much time for fighting games, so I respect that.
No, and I actually had a lot more time on my hands when I was playing through Neo.
Oh, dude, I know what you mean. Like, isn't it nice when there's just like a right place, right time game where it's just
absolutely.
like it just falls into place and you're like, oh my god, where have you been all my life?
Oh, that was also with Ghost. Like, Ghost was like this. It gave me like super heavy like MGS5 vibe for some reason. Like, it made sense. Like
The open
right
world's
off the
not
bat.
The open world feels natural, and I think that's one thing MGS5 did pretty good.
Yes, no, seriously, it does actually feel really good. And it's like, it also gives you a very good sense of direction. Like, very rarely was I ever lost, you know? Well, it wasn't necessarily the wind, it's just like, the roads actually make sense, and like, the way that they're designed is like, oh, this one's going to the coast, or, oh, hey, I just put a marker on the map, and it's just like, oh, there's a giant castle over there. I guess I'm going to the castle.
Yeah, it's like it like the visuals definitely guide your eye, and then following your hand.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So then, probably took
I guess
time.
I'm samurai at heart.
Took the most time.
Oh, the most time? For me, that would probably be.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. I'm trying to remember what it's called.
Alright. Do you want me to do the fighting game answer or the non?
Do both.
Monster Hunter took me 60 hours until I felt comfortable.
Honestly, I feel like that's very fair considering that was your first Monster Hunter.
Yeah, it was a learning game. To be fair, I enjoyed the learning experience, but I did not click until about 60 hours in. Maybe not 60, probably closer to like 30. Like half that, so 30 hours, right?
Yeah.
Like a good 30 hours of just doing the high rank stuff slowly and like doing all that jazz, getting into the game, but then just trying weapons. Like you saw how much fun I had building.
Oh no, absolutely. And I feel like that's probably why it took you so long, because there's just so many ways to go in that game, on top of like learning the monsters.
Yeah, it just clicked. Like that's the loop. That's the Monster Hunter loop. When you find it, if it's for you, it just digs its hooks into you, and you'll never leave. It's like you'll always come back to Monster Hunter sometimes. Always. And
that's true. I'm still coming back to like my 3DS or 4 Ultimate because I love it so much.
Same. I'm glad I got over the stupid analog thing because it's just not worth.
Yeah, I don't know what your thumb phobia is or what that's called.
Oh no, I've just used target camera now.
Oh. Good for you. Really? You didn't get over your thumb phobia?
It's a really weird thing.
Yeah.
Thumb phobia. That just sounds like I'm really scared of thumbs. No, it's finger pain, dude. That's
It wouldn't last.
so some people are
It
scared.
wouldn't last 10 minutes. Interrogation. As soon as they touched your fingers, be like, I can't tell you anything. Don't touch them. You
No,
look like a
otherwise
cat
I-
with its paws.
No, I just start gnawing my hand off at the wrist. Like I'd just be like, I'll cut you too, Hill. I'll cut you off.
What's the fighting game one?
Guilty Gear.
Guilty Gear. Drive?
It took me 3 months. Yep,
Really?
3 months to feel comfortable. And if you count my first Guilty Gear, XX, it probably took me about 20 hours because that was like before I knew anything about a GG game, right? I didn't even know what a death
Yeah, but
combo
20
was.
hours is less than 3 months. Like, holy crap.
Well, to be fair, I've still only put like 150 hours in GG over the several months that I've played it, because fighting games still technically don't take all that much time.
True.
At least when you're playing the matches, because you could play like 20 matches in a day, and it might only be like active game time, or at least playing in the game.
Right.
It might only be like, I don't know, freaking 3 hours. Probably even less. Probably closer to 2. Maybe 1.5. Because some of those matches go fast.
That's true,
But,
but it's also something I like about that. But it'd be like, I don't know, maybe it gets graining after a while, because I remember I'd be all, man, how many matches is that? 400? Okay.
I know, dude. Like seriously, like that first time played, and I was playing Leo, and you were playing Soul, and we just went at it. I don't even remember how many we did. That's how long it took. We just went. It just kept going for like ages.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it's. I definitely got better at fighting games in general, but also way better at GG over these past 3 months, and it just now I feel comfortable. I even know how to gold burst now. I didn't even know what that was before. So.
That's the blocking one, isn't it?
No, it's a preemptive burst. So not after you get hit or during a combo. It's you burst before they've even touched you, and it's golden. And if it hits them, like knocks them back,
Oh, you talk about
get
the
full meter.
aftershock.
you get full meter off gold burst.
That's actually really cool. Okay, so I wonder why sometimes I only get a bar, or sometimes I get like just a little bit, or I get a whole 2 bars. So that's
Yeah,
what
it was
that
really
is.
confusing when I didn't know what I was doing. But like figuring out how gold burst worked, it's like, oh, that's why I'd sometimes get a full meter. I never really figured that one out. It's really funny though when you gold burst and then you get full comboed to dead, and then your meter just hung out there. Like it's completely wasted, because burst does go over rounds. You can't save your burst.
No, and it's gotta like charge back up, but that's also the meter. Like your meter resets in every round.
I do kind of like though that the defensive meter, the burst meter, is the one that goes over matches. You know,
Oh yeah.
so it's like you gotta use it wisely, but also if you haven't used it yet, you have it immediately. So it's nice.
No, that's another really good. There's just so many good things about Guilty Gear we can talk about forever.
It's really good. I think there are a lot of people like, oh my gosh, Strive is no, Strive is different good. Xrd is different good. They're just different good. They're both good. They're different good. They have different things that are good about them. Anyway, so what's your like longest ish?
One that
Game.
probably took me the longest to wrap my head around was probably Astral Chain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, well, being able to control 2 characters at the same time and having multiple inputs for like doing like a jump or a jumping attack, and then having like I haven't even unlocked any other freaking spooky ghosties to control yet. I've still only got sword, and I'm just like,
So
I still gotta
is
like,
it
wrap my head around that. I'm still doing stuff in like the training room, to, like get warmed up and stuff. It's a bizarre game. Very.
so
bizarre.
is it like edging and stuff? Like how does controlling them work?
Basically you have like the chain input button. So if you hold one of the triggers, you can move your chain guy around and have him do chain attacks. So with sword,
Oh.
what you do is you have him do a loop-de-loop around an enemy, and that locks them in place. But if you're holding chain button, and you can throw them out by tapping the chain button and pressing forwards, or maybe it's A button, something like that. There's an input for that. And then you could tap the chain button again, then that's a chain jump. And that's how you initiate jumping combos. But there's also your own combos as well. You have 3-hit combos with baton, 2 to 3 hit combos with the Gladius, and then the Blaster, which just you just shoot, stand there and you shoot.
And then I just started blasting.
Anyway, I just start blasting.
Dude,
But it's
games like that.
well, the thing is, it's made by
What?
Platinum, so
Mhm.
like, not to mention every chain ghost has their own like special abilities. Because Sword has freaking Raiden's edge cutting mode, which comes into play quite often in boss fights because you need to like do precise cuts.
Deluge.
Yes.
Do you know what just clicked in my brain?
What?
Because of games like Astral Chain, we are one step closer to a third-person story action game of a JoJo game.
It is very
Stand
JoJo.
mechanics.
No, it is. It's like super JoJo.
Because
But
it's like that's
he
one
has
of the biggest
multiple
hurdles for
stands,
making
though.
a game. Oh yeah, you obviously would be you just flesh out the single stand more,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
But damn, that sounds awesome. I'm sorry, Astral Chain is cool. This one, I like what they went with and the stuff. But like, come on, if you had a choice to play a stand-based game like that, where it's like robot dogs, or if it's like literally JoJo stands, I feel like I would pick the JoJo stands one. And I don't even watch JoJo.
I would too, simply because I've always wanted to do a build of Monk that goes with Way of Astral Self, and I've never done it.
Oh, that's fair. Nice fire. But yeah, no, seriously, that does mean it's more possible now. It's just, I don't know if there's a game company that would. Oh my god, if Platinum made that, that'd be so funny.
It would be perfect,
Also, Star Platinum. Anyway,
right?
but still, like, oh my god, that would be so sick. Because I feel like it could work. It really could. You just have to make it story based, right? Where there's like cutscenes and stuff like that. But like really fun boss fights and shit, that'd be so neat. The only thing is, like, JoJo's pretty contained. There's not a lot, like, there's no groups of enemies or anything like that. It's very, like, single enemies and, like, being dealt with in, like, tactful ways. So, sadly.
Essentially,
Maybe they
yeah.
could make a unique story based in the universe. Who knows?
I could actually see them doing something like that. 'Cause there's a whole bunch of like canon things that aren't necessarily canon in that canon.
Yeah, well, like, you could just say it's not canon, but, like, use the material.
Right. But like there are a bunch of like light novels that aren't written by Araki essentially, but they are considered canon, but also they conflict with canon, so they're kind of canon, but
It's
they're really
true.
not canon. It's
So the Shadow of
interesting.
Mordor way. It's a medical thing.
it's a
Where
what?
like Shadow of Mordor is canon. It just fits within like a very, very like vague spot where it like doesn't clash with anything, doesn't make any events become weird, right? Like, I'm gonna spoil the ending, but like you don't actually kill Black Cane because if you did, you know, that would actually fuck up the story or whatever, right? So, like, still, like it's definitely possible that it could, especially if they take his like side material. Right?
Oh no, absolutely.
But yeah, I feel like that's a general like topic of time, respect game, stuff like that. Because there's two sides, right? There's like how much does a game want to ask of you, and how much do you put for the game. So, and it can make or break an experience for sure.
No, it really can. Like, to be honest with you, like 3 biggest things when it comes to like just time management in general, when it comes to gaming. Like, first of all, it's platform. Is it portable? Is it PC? Is it a console?
Oh yeah,
Second of all, it's like,
Almost-
what are your gaming hours? Like, how much time you're willing to put in? And like,
Yep.
the last one for sure is gotta be definitely takes the cake. How much effort are you willing to put in?
I'm about to make the dumbest metaphor that I've ever made in my life. Video games is a relationship. You gotta give as much as you take. Because if you don't give, it might make the experience worse. As stupid as that sounds, it's true. If you don't actually take some effort to learn, the game might actually be frustrating and feel clunky as hell, depending on what it is. It's the truth.
No, it is. And like, you can factor in a whole bunch of other things like, well, who are the developers? Like, what engine does it run on? Like, what's the structure of the game? What is the gameplay loop? And you could go on and on and on. But I feel like it boils down to those 3 major things. So like, what are you looking for? How much time you got? And how much effort you putting in?
And the final sad reality of sometimes it just click.
No, and it sucks. But that's why we have video game reviewers. And also, you know,
But that doesn't really work because like to make a good review, they pick someone who plays those games. So they're probably going to enjoy it no matter what because they play those games and they really enjoy them.
no, I'm
They
talking
don't
like
have-
I'm not talking game journalism. I'm talking like Joe Blow in his garage.
I guess
So, and the thing is, when I'll do research into a game, I'm not sure if everybody does this, but when I do research into a game, I look at as many things as possible. Like, I want to see how many different opinions I can find and kind of just coalesce my own opinion. And also,
You ever,
you
like-
need raw, unedited gameplay.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things where it's kind of hard to find that sometimes for some reason. Like, I was trying to, like, that one night when we got Risk of Rain and I was trying to show Abby gameplay, I could not find a unedited gameplay clip without a dude's face in it. I don't want your face cam. I don't want your stream notos. What happened to just having some raw gameplay?
Right?
There used to be a thing everywhere when a game is either new or has been out for.
Well, to be fair, Risk of Rain's kind of niche. Like, I can see that kind of stuff for, like, MGR, or Doom Eternal, or fuck, even Astral Chain, or DMC3, you know? But,
Mhm.
I don't know, a game like Risk of Rain, it falls in that niche category.
You can still see. I can still see gameplay for it because it's like you want to entice somebody. So if you do like a 10-minute gameplay or something,
No, you're right. Yeah.
you ever heard that game feels like it's 10 minutes, and then look up at the timer in the corner, it's like, holy shit, me and Matt have been at this for 50 minutes with
Yeah.
a single run. Yeah,
Times.
good shit. Oh,
Alright.
also, I really. Oh,
No. Go
no, it's
ahead.
not important to the pod. I could actually just add that on later.
Well, I'm about to
Something I
wrap
wanted
up,
to
so
do.
you best get that shit out of your system, boy.
Oh, no. I was just gonna say it to you in general, but like, doesn't have to be in the pod. No, we can go.
That's fair. Alright, so what are your closing thoughts, Benny?
I feel like I've said it already, but yet like that. So just basically, as weird as it sounds, accountability toward your game. Sometimes you can be the thing stopping you from having fun. I know I did. I hated Hades at first because I wanted a game that I could combo in. For some reason, I wanted to have it be like Dungeon Crawler Rise, and that was bad. It was very, very bad. But I came back to it about 2 weeks ago. Oh my god, it's crack. Just the story is amazing. The characters are amazing. Like I already loved all of those things, but hating the gameplay at the time made it too difficult to just enjoy it. And just sometimes it might just not be the right time yet. And as weird as that sounds, as cheesy as that sounds, it is true. So as long as you know you're getting a good game, if you don't get into it immediately, you might get into it.
My closing thoughts are, do your research.
A little bit
Do the
of
research.
research.
Do the research or, take a chance. Like, nobody's gonna blame you. If you got some money to spend, spend the money, you know. You don't like it, you don't like it. You know? You always get a refund, I guess. I don't know. I don't know your life.
Steam has the 2-hour refund thing, so there's that.
Oh shit, that's cool.
If you haven't played it for 2 hours.
Alright, so roll the outro. Been good, Benny. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. Yeah, links in the description to stuff. You can find Benny on Twitter. Find me on Twitter. I stream on Twitch. Sometimes I post stuff on this YouTube channel. I don't know. We'll find out.
You go and link my Twitter.
Yeah.
Like,
I've
you
been
can see,
doing
like,
that
Really,
for a while.
you can say really shitty fighting game combos.
Hell yeah. That's why I love shitty fighting game combo.
Oddly specific Actually, that's why I'm proud of that one in BlazBlue. That was not a specific circumstance. I could pull that out anywhere in the screen. Anyway, let's move on.
Alright, it's been real. This quest complete. Thanks for showing up. Bye. Adios. Roll the outro, Benny. Roll it. Roll the outro. Roll it.
Anyway, move on.